What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Corky and this is Cosmo Craft Creations. I spent the last couple of days kind of organizing and cleaning up my craft room, and I really wanted to give you guys a little sneak peek of what my craft room looks like. Unfortunately, I forgot about an entire shelf, so I decided that we are going to do a little cleaning montage of the shelf that is right above my head here, and then I will give you guys a little tour of my craft room. So let's get to cleaning. Okay, the shelf is completely cleared off. I wiped it down and everything. Now I'm going to wipe down everything else and start putting it back up. But my camera's dying, so when you guys see the shelf next, it'll be completely put together and all ready to go. Alright guys, my craft room is done. It is ready for you guys to finally see it. So let's go tour my craft room. I figured that we would start over here because this side of the room gets a lot of attention and it's one of the first things that you see when you walk into the room. So this here is actually just a shower caddy. You'll see another one later in the tour, but I like to keep my paper towels up here. I do have some more underneath the sink, which you'll see later, but this is just like a cheap roll that I'm trying to kind of get rid of. This rack here has mainly all tapes and gloves. I went a long time without using gloves because of, the pandemic, so kind of got used to not using them, and now they almost seem like more of a hassle, so I really only keep them around for my friends now, but I do have some gloves. This little guy is probably one of my absolute favorite crafting tools that I have out here. It really has nothing to do with crafts, it's just a temperature gauge, but it helps me make sure that my craft room is temped properly so that when I do my epoxy, it'll actually cure okay. This little rack here has a couple of nail files that I use to kind of sand down the edges of my epoxy pieces. These honestly shouldn't even be here because I kind of have a different system for my sanding stuff now, but I will move those eventually. Same with this fishing line here. I have like some regular fishing line, and then this is like some like stretchy jewelry making material. What the hell do you call it? String. This is some jewelry string. It's kind of stretchy and it's clear, but it's pretty much the same concept of fishing line, so I keep them together. These also should probably be with like my jewelry stuff, but again, they're not in the right place. Right below that I have my husband's measuring tape, which he's probably looking for. I should probably let him know that it's out here, but that's where I keep it for now. Over here I have a couple pairs of scissors and a wire cutter thing. I have a spray bottle over here, absolutely no idea why that's out here. And then I have some art that I actually made for my bedroom, but for some reason it never made it in there. So that's basically this side of the room. Now I'm going to switch you over a little bit and I'll show you guys some of my working spaces. This is the crafting table that I do a majority of my videos on. I am eventually going to be sanding this down and refinishing it. That will probably be part of a Craftspiracy video, so stay tuned for that one. And then right next to the table I have two chairs here. They're both super old. I've had them for at least like 6 years and they pretty much stayed in my garage the entire time, so they are very dingy. I thought about trying to re-dye this one because it is just so dingy and like gross looking basically. It has craft stuff all over it and I think it just needs like a little bit of a pick-me-up. Also, both chairs are ripped, so who knows how long they're even going to last for, but it is nice to have extra chairs out here for when I have visitors come. This corner of my room is kind of what I call like my spiritual or altar space. We're not going to go over it too much because this is where I do like my spiritual practices, my meditation, and so it's kind of like a sacred corner in my craft area, but I thought I would show it to you because it is part of my craft room and it is a very important part of my craft room for me personally because I feel like it keeps me grounded and just, you know, down to earth basically. Alright, moving on, we're going to go right above this altar to my nature shelf. Okay, my head's probably going to be cut off because I'm too short to get me and the shelf in the picture, but the shelf is the main part of this story. So right off the bat in this corner, I have a little cooktop. This is actually my friend Francesca's cooktop. She brought it over a while back, actually. I think we were making tea out here or something, but it's been out here ever since then, and I never knew that a cooktop could be so helpful in a craft room. I know it sounds weird, but I've actually used it quite a bit. So I'm really glad that she left that here. This is my collection of pressed flowers. So I actually keep my pressed flowers in this photo album. It has some sticky sheets to kind of keep everything in. Also, I realized that the sticky sheets were not the greatest thing to keep your flowers on because sometimes they rip and like actually stick, which makes sense. So I started putting newspaper behind them and it's kind of working, but I still have not figured out like a foolproof way to store my flowers. So if you have any suggestions, please leave them in the comments down below because I would love to know a better way to store my flowers. And these books here are actually what I use to press my flowers. If you can see, some of them are a little bit gapped right now. That's because I'm actually in the middle of pressing my Christmas flowers. So I'm sure that will be a video coming out shortly of how I take my flowers out and put them into my book. Over here, this is a grapevine moon that I made a while back with Francesca, and I made it into a little dream catcher. This was a lot of fun, but also a lot of work. Behind the moon, there are a bunch of bags of nature. So there's some flowers here and some more flowers behind it. There's also some leaves back there. And then I have a couple of little bags of some herbs and some seashells, sand, rocks. Over here I have a little collection of my herbs and some dead bugs, actually, you know, for some projects. And I know it sounds a little weird, but they were dead when I found them and they are really pretty, so why not preserve them, right? And then behind these herbs here I have some candles, like some little tea candles, pillar candles, and a citronella candle for the summertime. Moving on, over here I have all of my glitters and mica powders and alcohol inks. I also have some disposable stir sticks in this top drawer here, and some paintbrushes in here, which I'm in the process of switching out because I recently put all of my paintbrushes in this little Tupperware thing. There's also a random straw in there. Straws actually do come in handy when you're doing resin projects sometimes, so decided to keep that up there. So yeah, this drawer is going to eventually be switched over there, and maybe I'll put these like glitter tubes in here or something. I'm not really sure. These two drawers down here have alcohol inks in them. I do not recommend keeping your alcohol inks like this where they're sitting down because they do tend to spill, and these drawers are quite messy from my alcohol ink spilling. So like I said, do not recommend laying them down. Always set them up straight. As you can tell, I'm great at taking my own advice because these are all literally laying down in here, but I'll get to it eventually. You know, the craft room is pretty clean right now, but it's not perfect, so we're getting there. So like I said, this shelf is literally just like miscellaneous stuff. So I have like a cup of pencils and pens, my paintbrushes. Sorry, I cannot stay on my tippy toes like that. This is my collection of lighters. I actually make custom lighters. This is a, let's just move that. This got wet earlier, so I had it hanging there and I totally forgot about it until just now. So we're just gonna like throw that somewhere real quick. I have some mica powders back here. These are actually like nail powder, so I just keep them in that back corner over there. Down here, this is all more like personal stuff. So I have like my nighttime meds, some little snacks. I don't know if y'all like chocolate oranges, but these are like my absolute favorite thing in the Christmas season. And then of course some like Kleenexes and just, you know, randomness. Okay, we're gonna go over this portion of the room next. So behind this little drape here, I have a bunch of little goodies. So this is my spray paint collection, which I'm kind of running low on some of them, so I kind of need to revamp that. And this is kind of a collection of just a bunch of random stuff. So I don't know if you can even see the bottom shelf down here, but this probably has the least amount of stuff. It's basically like my extra mixing cups that don't fit in its like exposed location, some sanding material. I have a rotary tool down there and a little bit of seasonal decorations that I put up here sometimes. The next shelf has a bunch of jewelry stuff. It has some dream catcher stuff, some like LED and tea lights, like battery powered stuff. It has like this little bucket full of miscellaneous things, a little paper cutter. Up here in this corner has a lot of my spray painting stuff. It has some mold making stuff. I have some stuff to make crushed glass in here, some markers, and then over here is basically all like paints and glues. So yeah, that's everything that is in this little cupboard here. This thing also has just like a bunch of randomness in it. On the bottom shelf here, I keep some of my makeup, so if I like want to do some makeup out here real quick before I'm getting ready, then I just do it out here. So I keep a little bit of makeup in this bottom drawer. That's pretty much like the only theme for this thing. In this corner, I have some like driftwood stuff that I plan on doing some crafts with in the future. I also keep my resin and my torches in this corner. I have a cutting board, and this is a TV tray that this used to be my only table out here, was this little TV tray. And I've slowly progressed over time, as you can see. And then underneath the sink here, this is a sink. I have a sink in my garage craft area. It's really, really nice. And because I keep it temped all year round, well, this is the first year I'm going to have it temped all year round, but that means that I get to keep my sink on all year as well. So that's really cool. Underneath this sink, I just have some cleaning supplies, some hand soap, dish soap, some sponges, Lysol, an all-purpose cleaner. There's some rubbing alcohol in there, some cleaning gloves, and some paper towels as well. I actually like lost where I put my cheap paper towels for a minute, and so I ended up grabbing some good paper towels and then finding the cheap paper towels. So that's where I'm storing the good paper towels until I get rid of the cheap ones. Okay, moving on, we're gonna go over this shelf that we cleaned out together today. So over here, I wanted to try and hide this somewhere. It's a lamp that I had out here for a long time. It also was one of my only lights when I started out in this little craft hut. Definitely progressed on that. I actually have two really great lights in here, but I can only use one when I'm filming because this is what happens when I turn the other one on. Super bright, but you can't really tell because it just creates lines all over the screen. So we don't use that one when we're filming. Anyways, so behind here I have this golden M, which I actually painted like a year ago for my husband and I's anniversary, and it was supposed to go with like a wood set that I was making with like our initials. That's not actually wood, it's plastic, but our 5th year anniversary was last year, and that's the wood anniversary, so I was trying to incorporate wood into my gift. Unfortunately, that didn't make it in there because I'm not really sure what happened, to be honest with you. I spray painted it, and I'm guessing it wasn't dry like a week later when I put something on top of it, and it got all scuffed, and it just looks really ugly. So the only reason I stuck it there is because eventually I would like to try and fix it. So I think if it's in my face, I might not forget about it. On both sides of that M, I have some old wine bottles that I am going to be having my aunt decorate for me, and I'm going to be putting those on my altar in like the spring and summer seasons, just to kind of, you know, spice things up a little bit. And then behind that, I actually put a chunk of wood that I made like a galaxy scene on a couple years ago. Totally forgot that I did this. Thought it would be fun to display it, and then it kind of got covered up real quick. Behind all of that, there are some old candles that I'm going to eventually be melting down and making one full candle out of. And then I also have a bunch of like old yogurt containers and some like pop containers from the store, because they are nice and big, and I think they'll be really great for when it comes to mixing the epoxy for my table projects. Alright, moving on to this next chunk here. Right here in this box, there's a bunch of glass pieces from some frames that I've taken apart and made crafts out of in the past, and I don't know why I've kept all those glass pieces, but I did. I don't know, maybe I'll learn how to cut glass one day and they'll come in handy. Above that though, I have some mirrors that I'm going to be doing a project with eventually, as well as some other stuff. In this bag, there are actually some fake flowers and a little bit of netting that we used at my wedding, and so eventually I'm going to make a craft with those as well. Over here, these are actually a couple of Christmas gifts that I got from my cousin and my grandma. This is like a 3-set chunk of wood, which is actually, I'm really excited about it because I love working with wood projects. But then this box here has some candles in it, but I stuck it up here because eventually I'm going to stain it and do something really cool with it. Yeah, so I'm really excited about that project coming up. This bag right here is full of wood stuff that I can do projects with, and above it I have a tin like casserole pan, and I actually like to use that when I'm glittering big projects. It's really nice for catching all that glitter. Inside of that I have some metal trays that I actually use in my crafting, and yeah, so those are just sitting up there waiting to be beautified. And then next to that I have my rotisserie motor. I'm not sure how well you can actually see that. You probably just see the wood platform that's attached to. But there are some Nerf footballs up there, as well as a cut up noodle for swimming, and those are kind of what I help keep my cups on the wheel with. But as of lately I've really only been doing custom lighters, which is why I have a whole collection of lighters over here. And yeah, this thing was so packed full of stuff, but I managed to declutter most of it. It's a lot more organized now. So pretty happy about that adventure today. Okay, so over here on this wall I have my handy dandy chair here. We actually picked this up. It was like a recycled chair. I think we got it at like a thrift store, or maybe it was on like Marketplace or something. I really don't remember. But I needed something a little bit better than the other 2 chairs I have in here, because as you saw, they're old and falling apart. And I actually used to have a really old broken recliner out here, which just took up way too much space. So I'm pretty happy with this thing. It is a little bit bigger than I would like it to be, but it's pretty comfy and it works for now. So this is just an IKEA tabletop. It is not screwed on to the legs just yet. This is just a sawhorse from the brand Genuine Burrow brand, and I'm going to be painting this black, and then I'm going to be doing some like neon glow-in-the-dark mushrooms on this piece, And yeah, it's going to be also part of a Craftspiracy video. I was going to do the mushrooms on my square table, but I think I like the idea better on this one. I think I'm going to do the other one, a spray painting project, and I already have a topic for that one and this one, so cannot wait to do the research on this one. This table here will probably actually be my next Craftspiracy project, but I'm reading a whole ass book for this project, and I'm not a very good reader, which means I have to reread the page like 5 times to actually comprehend the information, so it might take a minute for that video to come out. Okay, so I can't figure out how to angle the camera so that way I can be in this shot as well, but again, that doesn't matter. I'm just trying to show you my craft room. So on this shelf up here, this is all of my done projects over here, or projects that need to be retouched or going to certain people. This is their area. Over here, this is just basically like coloring stuff. I have some of my friends' projects sitting up here. Like, these are all my friends' things. Should probably go down here with the rest of her stuff. Over here, this is like my little filming nook. I keep a lot of my electronics in this little box, in this and in this. This is like from my phone. I don't know why I still have that box, but I do. These are all of my notebooks. I take a lot of notes even when I am not taking notes for any particular reason. I just like to take notes for some reason. And then I have a little bit of like packaging stuff over in this corner, and that is for the few orders that I get that actually need to be shipped out. This whole next shelf is all of my molds. So I went and got a couple of these boxes from the dollar store, and I just kind of shoved all my molds full in there. I try and keep them in plastic bags like this just to keep them a little bit more organized and neat, and to keep the dust off them. Even though they are covered with a cloth, they attract dust like no other. So this is my mold section. All of this stuff right here basically has to do with my spray paint projects. So all of this was also on the upper shelf that we cleaned off today. I thought I'd move you guys to more of a traditional spot so I could give you guys less of a casual goodbye, even though this was a pretty casual video. All my videos are pretty casual, now that I think about it. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this little makeover / craft room tour. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. If you guys have any tips or tricks for organizing or keeping my flowers preserved nicely, definitely leave that in the comment section down below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you guys can stay up to date with all of my uploads, especially my Craftspiracy ones, because I'm pretty sure those are going to be exciting videos. At least they're exciting to me. I hope that you guys find as much excitement and enjoyment out of them as I do. Anyways, without further ado, guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye!